You're listening to Systemic Error Podcast. The failure was designed.
Doomed to fail, DC Insider explains why Trump's pick has a short shelf life, based on an article by Thomas Kika. Trump is not churning loyalists. He is testing the limits of capture, power, not personality. The source story treats Todd Blanche's nomination like another round of Trump's familiar personnel drama. A loyalist, a holdout, some Republican hand-wringing, and the usual guessing game about who gets discarded next. That framing is too small. The real fact is simpler and ugly. Trump is using the Attorney General slot to tighten personal control over the Justice Department, and the Senate Judiciary Committee is helping move that project along. Blanche is not being considered because he represents some neutral legal competence. He is Trump's acting Attorney General and previously served as Trump's personal lawyer. That is the point. The office is being staffed as an extension of the president's private legal and political apparatus. Loyalty is already baked in. Liz Smith's comment that Trump eventually pushes the envelope too far gets at something true but incomplete. The problem is not that Trump sometimes outgrows his loyalists. The problem is that he demands submission first and then punishes anyone who cannot satisfy his appetite for escalation. That is why this kind of reporting can become a trap. It turns an authoritarian staffing model into a personality quirk. Blanche's extreme loyalty is not a safeguard. It is the credential. The issue is not whether he will prove loyal enough. It is that the Justice Department is being organized around loyalty as a governing principle at all. Republican concern is a fig leaf. The source notes that Republicans raised concerns about Blanche's involvement in Trump's slush fund IRS settlement and the Epstein files, then still advanced the nomination. That is the standard Washington dodge. Perform concern, then ratify the outcome. This is not institutional resistance. It is complicity with better posture. If GOP senators truly believe those issues disqualified him, the nomination would not have moved forward. Their objections functioned as a veneer of seriousness while they kept the machinery moving. The DOJ is personal property. What matters here is not only who Blanche is, but what his role signifies. He is a personal lawyer moving into the country's top law enforcement post after an acting stint. That is not a normal career arc. It is the transformation of federal legal power into an instrument of presidential self-defense. The article also points to promises Blanche made to sway Republican holdout sense. Tom Tillis and John Cornyn and dismiss point that such promises do not survive once these officials are running the DOJ properly. That is the right suspicion. Under Trump, promises are bargaining chips, not constraints. They exist to clear the path, then vanish when obedience demands a different posture. The real pattern, the larger pattern, is not that Trump hires the wrong people. It is that he keeps proving how much of the Republican establishment will help him convert public institutions into private instruments, and then pretend the churn itself is the story. Bill Barr, Pam Bondi, Blanche, D9 Pirro. The names change, but the structure does not. This is what institutional cowardice looks like in practice. Republicans supply the votes, the hearings, the procedural calm, and the language of concern while Trump keeps moving power closer to himself. The lesson is not that his loyalists are fragile. The lesson is that a captured system can absorb almost any amount of embarrassment before it admits what it has become. You've been listening to Systemic Error. Thanks to Alternet for today's article. With the automated voice of Leibritz R. Thanks for listening.